Hello, everyone. Welcome back to TechPoint. Today we have a special guest. Hello, Chris.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm good. I'm better today, besides better than yesterday.
Yeah. So Chris is developing Sidekick AI, a Calendly competitor, and I used to book this meeting with him through Calendly. So please tell me, why should I use Sidekick AI instead of Calendly to book my meetings?
Yes, I mean, really, I guess the story of Sidekick, a lot of people ask that, how is it different? So we kind of conceptualized this idea back in 2019. So I started my first company 2011, my senior year of college, sold that in 2020. Just before I sold that, I was a part of Kyros Digital. So kind of started forming that just before we sold. Then when it was kind of like, all in Kyros and we got busier,
Okay.
Nate, our third partner, he started getting like very, very busy, right? And he was like, man, I need some help with scheduling. So he kind of thought of this idea of Sidekick. I like to tell people, Sidekick is it's like more advanced than Calendly and like just under a personal assistant, right? So it's
Mhm.
like in that kind of middle ground. Now we do have a feature that competes with Calendly, like more of a manual booking page, right? But a lot of people do now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I saw that feature as if you send an email to Sidekick, they automatically book your meeting.
yeah, that was the whole premise. Like that's the
That's
core of
great.
how we built it. Like we literally built Sidekick, the core. It wasn't even gonna be like a web app. Like it was literally just gonna be a plug-in to your email to just kind of like read everything,
Yeah.
and then kind of like decipher and pick out and like book meetings and then come to you and be like, hey, this person wants to meet, yes or no, right?
Yeah.
And then you could ultimately decide. So yeah, that was like the premise. That was the core of the machine learning, and kind of the language processing that we have built in it.
And about Kairos, how did you started it? And
Yeah,
most
yeah,
importantly, why?
yeah. Well, so like I said, my first company was 2011, and basically started that. It was a mobile app design company.
Mm-hmm.
Started that senior year of college, mainly because like there were no jobs. It was just after the recession, 2008, right?
Oh, I
Uh,
understand.
yeah, so like super bad financial times. I was just graduating, didn't really know what I wanted to do. I got lucky. I met a mentor, and I kind of helped him with his startup. He
Mm-hmm.
approached me with this app idea, so we ran with it, and then yeah, sure enough, that company built up over a decade. It was called Grand Apps. We sold that to two employees, and just before we sold that, so we were doing custom work.
Okay.
We were outsourcing our custom work with Grand Apps. Like I said, we are like more of a design marketing company. We
Mm-hmm.
had a marketing agency too. We had like 30 social media clients. Like we had a whole social agency tied up with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was I would say more marketing and design. And then we built such a brand to where people would come to us like, hey, I want a mobile app. Like, for example, the Dallas Cowboys contacted us. They're like, whoa, like, that's pretty sweet. Like the most
Yes.
recognized football team in the world and American football, right? And
Yeah.
so it was like, so we would outsource that work. I'm not a developer by trade. And basically what happened was we outsourced that work to a couple teams in India. Things just went really bad for many reasons, when you're outsourcing. And so we met Nate, me and John, my partner at the previous company. And we're like, man, this guy's really smart. Like, could you help us on a few projects, right?
Yeah.
So we hired his company and loved working with them. Like there's tons of synergies. And, it was about that time, like when our employees approached us, like, hey, we'd like to buy the company. So it was kind of a perfect transition to go from like just design marketing to like the next level custom software. Cause
Yeah.
I always felt like day one, 2011, the missing piece for us to exponentially grow to a massive company was a founder who's technically savvy who could actually code. We
Yeah.
didn't have that.
I
So
understand.
it's like right we met Nate, it's like, man, it just all kind of clicked. So we've been doing that for under 4 years now. And when he started it, like it was him and like two other developers that were contracted. Now we have a team of 25, right? So
Wow.
like every year we've
Yeah.
just been boom, 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 growing. And like, with COVID, the world shut down, people know technology is more important. So like it's only amplified,
It was
right?
great.
So
Yeah. Great for
yeah.
you.
Yep.
And right now you are building Kairos and also Sidekick AI,
Yep. Yeah.
both at
So
the same time.
yeah. Yep. We got a really good team. Like we have 3 owners, like we did distribute our time like pretty well. So John and Nate oversee Kairos mainly day to day. I bring in like a lot of the marketing and like I bring in opportunities because just I've been around for over a decade, right? So I
Yeah.
know tons of people and business owners. So like they still come to me about custom software. So I give them to John
Yes.
and Nate. And then yeah, for the past like since 2019, we like when we had the idea for Sidekick, it's like, well, hey, what if we make this a product and try it? We've always wanted to. So yeah, we've been trying that. That's what my focus has been on. It's been massive learning curve building your
Yes.
own product. Like I want to start doing YouTube videos and like helping people that are building their first SaaS because there's so much you don't know. It's like, like we made a lot of mistakes, like every mistake you could possibly make. So it was good though, because we were building software for clients. We still are, and we built our own. So we know what it's like on both ends.
Yes. What is the biggest challenge you faced with Sidekick?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest challenge, like there's a couple of them. One big challenge that we faced was a decision we had to make when like we bootstrapped it. So we poured in a good amount of money and effort, right? But we weren't seeing results and like the results we would want to see. It was like little baby results. So we kind of came to a conclusion, like we need to figure something out. Like either like we need to go faster or we need more money because like the pace that we're going is not working.
It's not okay. Yeah.
So right. And so we're basically like, okay, do we sell it where it's at? Try to recoup what we put in. Do we get investors? Maybe we offer equity to a couple developers. So we tried all three, to be honest. And obviously we didn't sell it. We did have a couple developers take equity. They worked on it nights and weekends. And then we finally raised a little bit of capital, and then we hired our first developer in like 2021, I think. And so that was really the first time we had like a actual developer on the project.
I understand.
And so there's all different challenges you're going to face in the startup. And like a big mistake we made was overbuilding. Like simply, like we built too much of what we thought people would want. And it just wasn't like
it happens. Yeah.
Like just build something super, super small and like very low budget, POC, proof of concept, launch that, get some feedback, keep building off that, man.
Yes.
And it's don't overbuild it and make it fancy. We tried and failed, but yeah, we didn't fail. Yeah, obviously it's still going and working. It's good. And we're seeing like a lot of momentum, but like, right. You get it. Like the first round overbuilding, don't do it.
What's your most important advice for a young entrepreneur?
Yeah, man. It depends on like where they're at and like what stage, right?
Let's say the same as you after they finished college.
Okay, well, so what I did was, what I recommend, like if you have the entrepreneurial spirit, you're after college. I always recommend a service-based business. Always, like whatever you're good at the time, like do that as a service, sell that, and then run it as a small business. And I truly recommend it because if you, number one, you do a service-based business, it's very, very cheap entry level, right?
Yes,
like it's your time. You don't need to put cash capital. Do not get a loan for your first business. That is dumb. Like try to spend as little money. And once you do that, see if it works. Because here's the thing. Some people, they think they want to do that. But they don't know. Like, so here's the thing for me, like when I did it, it naturally clicked internally because that's how I operate. Like I love being busy. I love problem solving. I love being busy. I like always being on the go. I hate being stagnant. I'm not lazy. So like, those are like the little factors that help me. And we've had many people that were young, even people who had part ownership of our companies in the past decade. And like, I don't know, they thought they wanted to be an entrepreneur. And like, once they got in it, it's like, whoa, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that's fine though. So like, if you're young, you have that ambition, try it. If you don't like it, you could always quit and go get a job. And it's also the best experience you're ever going to get.
Right.
Like after 3 years, you fail, whatever, you can go to any business, like, hey man, like I tried this for 3 years. I wore every single hat. Like, and that's why I recommend it. Like
It's
a
worth
small
it.
service-based business. Yeah. You're going to wear every hat: hiring, firing, payroll. You're going to learn how to do your taxes.
Yes.
You know, you're in America. What's a K1, right? Not a K9 dog, a K1. That's what you get back from your business,
Yes.
right? For taxes. So there's a million things you're going to learn. And, that's what I would highly recommend for someone. Like, you don't have to shoot for the moon and like build a crypto project now. That's the hottest thing, right? Blockchain and the Web3. Like, you don't have to do this massive thing now.
Just
like
start.
100%. Yeah. And see what you like. You're going to pivot. Like I started in design, and then I launched a video company. I had a marketing company. I invested in real estate. We had a flooring company. You name it, like all these different companies. And I found out like the past decade, since I started 22, now I'm 23, 11 years. Like I just do a lot, fail and pivot. And you'll eventually get there and figure out what you like. And just know, usually young entrepreneurs, you're not gonna be making a lot of money. So just know that like we were making less than our employees for like up to 8 to 9 years, just telling you. So don't expect it. You got to keep investing back in the company.
You shouldn't expect an easy path because it's not. It's a lot of sacrifice.
Yes. Yeah. Very frugal, sacrifice, like keep pouring back in it, and just don't get your hopes up or expectations. And if you hit it big, you hit it big, but like that's usually not the case. And just focus on like not the money, focus on building your skills and learning for that decade. Then you could apply it in your 30s. Then it's like, whoa, you're a little more dangerous. That's what I'm doing now. I'm looking forward to 40s because I'm like, man, I'll have 20 years experience. Like, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, that's a great response.
Yeah.
What's your biggest goal with Sidekick AI? What's your biggest goal this year? Let's say, what do you want to accomplish?
Yeah, for sure. This year, right. Every goals change per year, right? I would say this year, what we're really focusing on is like getting into businesses, right? It's like more of an enterprise level and just proving that Sidekick can work and businesses will pay for it. And we already got one, which is pretty cool. Like it's not a huge account. And then we have a couple opportunities with accounts that range from like 100 to 500 people to like 5,000 to 40,000, right? So that, to us, that would be a game changer because like that'll prove businesses want it. That'll give us enough cash flow to scale the team. Keep building that out. So like those are like the biggest goals.
So you want
really
to focus on business to business.
Yeah. It's, because like we found like there's very niche markets, like say, for example, financial advisors, they're using very old legacy tech. They're not even using Calendly, right? And it's like some of them don't even know about it. And if you could find those markets and provide that service for them and they pay for that, boom, like that's a pretty good model. So,
and
so
how do you want to do the marketing? Where do you find these people?
Well, these ones are like relationships that we have. Like I said, man, I've been doing, me and my partners for like 11 years. So we know quite a bit of people. And I used to do a lot of marketing. I had like a podcast, YouTube channel, like everything's still up there, but like I did tons of content, probably 2015 to like 18, and put myself out and like just connected. And
that's great. That's great. I wanted to ask you for the new ones, for maybe the new companies, new owners that you don't know, let's say decision makers. How is your plan to find them and reach them and show them your solution? Do you have any?
I think we got, it's a mixture of things. Like, number one, we do have a salesperson at Kyros, right? They do outbound, so they reach out outbound, just, hey, make connections. They hybrid between software development to, hey, we have a scheduling solution if you want that. So we do outbound, cold outreach, I plan on ramping up my content and marketing, so that I could try to build that funnel back up. I took a little break from it and I'm ready to kind of get back into it. And when I say the content, like I went hard, like, for example, Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Like everybody knows him.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. My claim to fame. So I did this back in I would have to look like the times, but like if you Google like a day in the life of an entrepreneur, I actually did that like vlog style before he did his, right? Because what happened was I was a YouTube fanatic, and I saw this back in 2011, 12. I watched the
Wow.
fitness guys, right? And the
Mhm.
fitness guys did vlogs, they did working out. And I was like, what if somebody does this for business, right? I'm like, that'd be kind of cool. So I literally had
Yeah.
like, I was filming that stuff, like just doing vlogs and all that, like probably 2014, 15-ish, I think. And like our first company, Grand Apps, and like I stopped doing it. I regret that. I wish I'd have kept going, but you know, that's like the plan to like find new people and build a bigger funnel like that.
You wish you would have been so popular as Gary Vee is.
No, I'm not really concerned about like popularity contests. For
What's your
me, number
take
one,
on this? Do you like popularity? Do you think it's good?
I think people should do what they want to do, what makes them happy. You know, like, and that's kind of cliche, but what I'll say is like, I did a lot of it. And like, I'm talking sun up to sundown, content, like tons of it, even before the whole Gary Vee model happened, right?
Yeah.
Like it was like Ty Lopez. It was like here in my garage. He's the first one that popped up. Then like Gary Vee, Grant
Grant
Cardone, like all
Cardone.
of these,
Yeah.
yeah. And then these people started kind of popping up, and they were kind of doing it. I was doing like a little bit, and I was like, man, these guys are like 50, 40, and I'm 20s. I'm like, I need to beat these guys and do stuff, you know? So I started doing that kind of stuff too. And then to be honest with you, man, like I got burnt out from it. Because they have people come, like, you know, it's a lot. And, you know, for me, it was like, all right, I enjoy it, but I kind of got burnt out. So I took a step back, and I wanted to try something different. Right. So I tried to be Sidekick product owner, build a product, you know, be like really hands-on. And that was my main point, is to young people, try a lot of different things, see what you like. Right. And yeah, I mean, so that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. Like, really just matters to the person. Like, does it matter to you? If it does, go do it. You know, like, what's your thesis in business?
That's right. Yeah. Do you have any unfair advantages with Sidekick? I don't know, something unique, something
I mean,
that the competition doesn't have. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I would say right now, like, if we keep building on this, like the forward to schedule, like literally, you could take an email and you could forward it to Sidekick in English only for now, but like it'll read that email and decipher. Like if you say, hey, Chris, I want to meet next week, Wednesday at 4, Sidekick will read next week, Wednesday, 4, check my calendars. And if it works, book it, send you an invite. Right? So one forward. I simply just forward the email, and that's it. Right. Now, there's bigger challenges with that. Like, what if there's a person CC'd? And scheduling is crazy, as you know. So like, there's a lot of things, but like, you know, like, let's say a simplistic, a one-on-one, super simple, like, hey, I want to do this. Like, you send me that email, I click forward, and I send the Sidekick. It'll either book it. If it doesn't, it'll reply back and be like, hey, here's some times, right? Like, here you go.
That's great.
That's
great.
Yeah. So it's true. Like, it's not, nothing's a true AI yet, but it is machine learning. We have language processing, right? Like it's actually understanding this and understanding the intent of it. And
you can say it with different sentences, right? And it still understands. Wow.
Yeah. So we thought of like, and that's the hard part about it, right? Because if we're talking English and there's slang, right? So like a slang, nobody types in perfect English usually. So like, if somebody says, hey, let's link up next week, let's connect, let's reconvene, right? All these little terms for me has to be trained up in the system to, right, like understand it. So when we were building it, we ran 100,000 emails of our own through it to like to train it. And then we actually went in some of them that were kind of like, we don't know. We said yes or no, intent, no intent, no intent, right? So it's pretty smart. Like, and it's smarter than anything that I've seen. The only competition that we really had in that area was X.AI, and they closed in October of 2021.
Why did they close?
They got bought. Yeah, they got bought by like a massive company, and they just closed their doors. And like, they sent out a list email, and they said, here's some companies you guys can use. Like, good luck. They didn't mention us. Like, I reached out to their CEO, I was like, hey man, like how come we're on the list? And he's like, oh, we'll talk to legal. And it was a bunch of like nonsense. So I was just like,
Wow.
whatever, like we'll figure it out to get some of those customers. But yeah, so that was really the only one. Besides that, like I've never seen any other one. I'm sure there's ones out there popping up that I just don't know about it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, right. So there's a massive tech is massive, right? And the world's forever expanding. So I'm sure there's something out there. But yeah, I mean that's like one thing that no one's really doing that I see
Yes.
that we're doing different.
I promise I'll try it out instead of Calendly.
Yeah, try it out. Yeah,
I'll give it a try.
yeah.
Okay.
And we had the Calendly-ish feature scheduling pages.
Yeah.
We built that because people literally wanted it. They're like, hey, can you build something like Calendly? Like, yeah, sure, we'll build that. So we offer that. And if people want it, then they could add on the email scheduling and all the different types.
Yeah, because they're accustomed with this feature and they want something simple. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
No, man. I mean, I guess I'm just kind of curious, like, why did you decide to start this podcast?
So the podcast is for TechPon, as you can see here.
Yep.
We basically we are a one-stop platform for all your software needs. You come to TechPon, you read a review. Let's say you compare Calendly with SidekickAi. You see the features, and you decide which one is better. You see the pricing, and after that, at the end, you may find a deal for your. You can find a deal for your software. So let's say you get SidekickAi with 20% off on a yearly plan, and basically that's it.
Yeah.
So we want to bring SaaS companies here and I don't know, present their story. That's it.
I love it, man. Well, yeah, it's always good sharing.
So we focus on success, on entrepreneurship, on SaaS, on software, and basically we want to be a marketplace. We want to help people, to rise people.
Yeah, for sure. So, I love it. Are you? Yeah, I was gonna say, what are your goals? You've been asking me all my goals. What are your goals this year, sir? I'd like to know.
Well, let me think about it. Basically, for me personally, it'd be to make a podcast per day, but I had other stuff to do, and maybe in the future I can reach that goal. So to meet with a founder a day would be great for me. I'm 20. I don't know if I mentioned.
And so you look young, so I wasn't assuming. I never assume though. I don't assume.
Yeah, that's great. Respect. And it'd be great for me to learn. And yeah, we're a startup. We're around 10 people, and it's going really, really well. I joined the team.
You got it figured out, literally.
Yeah. I joined the team 6 months ago, and I tried some positions, and as I can see, the podcast is really good for me. I can handle it. I love it.
Well, the good thing is like, yeah, it's a I guess we end on this one, but like that strategy of that. So I did something, it's still on YouTube. If you look at what's called the Grand App Show, right?
Okay.
And I did this thing locally, and this was 2015. And basically I want to make this show and this like podcast, and I wanted to interview local business owners, right, to this show. And part of it was like, I want to share their story. Part of it was like, I want to make connections. Part of it was I want to introduce my company to them. Exactly. And I was like, well, right. And it just makes sense. It's like, well, hey, here's who we are. I want to give you a little bit of value and like that. And then if you want to hire us, great. And I would tell them that, right? And that was literally the strategy. Like we did pretty well with that. Like I met tons
everybody
of business
wins.
owners. Yeah, right. I met tons of business owners like, that I didn't know at that time. And like they came on, like I still talk to some of them. And then, years later they would come back and be like, oh, hey, can you guys do a website for us? Right. So it was just, so that strategy really does work.
Yeah.
Right? And it helps
because you want to
build
help
those relationships.
Yeah. You want to do good things. So good things will come back to you.
Yeah. So everybody listening, try that strategy. If you don't have an idea of a strategy, it works.
Yeah. Regarding the third thing that you mentioned, if you have an affiliate program, you may be listed on TechPon. I can put you in contact with my colleagues, and that would be great.
Cool. Yeah, we don't yet, but we'd be interested in looking at programs and stuff like that to set it up.
Yeah, we can discuss more. You can take a look at our website, and we'll see. Anyway, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you for being here.
Appreciate it, man.
And
It's always a joy to get some good content, and I look forward to seeing it live and what's going on, everybody listening.
yeah, I'll send you the link. Thank you so much. Have an amazing day. Goodbye.
Cool. See you.
Bye bye.